Please be seated.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all very welcome to the membership conferring ceremony here today at our home on Kildare Street. Welcome to all our new members and their guests. This week we will confer 145 new members from 23 different countries. We're delighted to meet you all here today. This building captures and nurtures our heritage. Our Heritage Centre has attained museum status, an award that recognises our dedication to caring for our collections to the highest of standards. We have ambitious plans to grow our museum and to open our rich heritage and medical history increasingly to the public and a wider audience. All around you, there are portraits, sculptures, items that reflect our central role in the history of medicine in Ireland and abroad. Today, you join their ranks and join all of us on your lifelong journey and career through medicine. This is an exciting moment in your careers and one that you have earned through your hard work, dedication, determination, as well as the support of those around you. And now, before declaring this ceremony of the Royal Colleges of Physicians of Ireland open, may I introduce the platform party. Dr. Lucy Dooley, the Institute of Medicine Board Trainee Representative, Dr. Emma Kelly, Director of Education and Training in the Institute of Medicine, Dr. Judith Meehan, Dean of the Faculty of Paediatrics, Dr. Diarmuid O'Shea, President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland, Professor Trevor Duffy, Director of Healthcare Leadership, and at the far side, Ms. Harriet Wheelock, Mace Bearer and Keeper of Collections. And I am Professor Catherine McHugh, Censor of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. This is a meeting of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland for the purpose of conferring membership, which I now declare open. With your permission, President, I will now proceed with the conferring ceremony.
Please proceed, Cathy.
I will now call on Professor Trevor Duffy, Director of Healthcare Leadership, to address you.
Thanks, Cathy. I think we may as well start off with a round of applause. You're going to have lots of round of applause, but give yourselves a round of applause. This is a big day, and you've worked long and hard for it. And I want you to reflect really on the colleagues you're sitting here with. As Cathy had mentioned a few minutes ago, look around the hall, look at the pictures and the portraits and the history of medicine. But really, the reason I'm here to talk to you for a couple of minutes, and I promise it's only a couple of minutes, is to emphasise to you that the membership, as important and all as it is, it's only the beginning. And this is not a graduation ceremony in the likes of a university. This is a membership ceremony. Today you're given the keys to this college, and the people you see on the walls are your forebearers. And this, really what I'm trying to emphasize is that this will become your professional home. And the reason that's important to us in the college, we can at times be portrayed purely as a training body. And that is a significant proportion of our work. A huge number of the staff in the college, and there's somewhere around 175 staff who work in the college on your behalf, put all of their effort into training. But you must remember, you're a trainee for about 10 years, you'll be a doctor for 40 years, and hopefully you'll be a member of this college for the rest of your life. And this college is to be your professional home. The reason that's important, and you'll get a flavour of it this afternoon from our President's address and hopefully in the conversations outside, is that this is a difficult career. You've all been aware of that to date. You've come through internship, you've grown up quickly, you've worked hard for your membership, you've had tough nights on call, dealt with stuff you never imagined yourself dealing with when you were an 18-year-old signing up to medical school. It's a difficult career, and this is the place you come to when you're struggling. This is the place you support each other when times are hard. This is the place you come to celebrate on days like this, but when times are tough, that's what the college is here for. This is your professional family. And I just want you to reflect on that through the day, reflect on the success you've had, reflect on the future, and enjoy the day. And maybe Speaking of family, another round of applause for your guests at the back of the room. And maybe in some sense today they're passing over some of the parental responsibility to us in the college. So congratulations.
Now, before we formally admit you as all as members, I will call on Dr. Lucy Dooley, MRCPI Trainees Committee Rep, to address you.
Thank you, President, fellows and members. As the Institute of Medicine Board Trainee Rep of the MRCPI, it is my honour, my privilege and my duty to represent you and to work on your behalf with the college to improve the quality of our medical education and of the training we receive. I am sincerely delighted to be here in person today to extend my heartfelt congratulations on your remarkable accomplishment of achieving membership of the college. It's not so long ago that I was sitting in your place, and is still fresh in my memory, the number of hours and months and years of hard work and efforts to reach this goal. The effort that you've put into your life, all the sacrifices you've made today have paid off, and you should be very proud of yourselves and your accomplishments. As members of the MRCPI, you have distinguished yourselves as the brightest and best physicians of your generation. You stand apart as the group of doctors who will lead the profession for the generations to come. Your graduation today leads you one step closer to a specialisation in your field of interest and towards being a leader within our healthcare service, and marks a significant milestone in your career progression and your success. Today must be a joyful day, a day of celebration, to be shared with your family, friends, and peer fellows. But please remember, this is not just an end, it is a turning point. From now on, you will have a shared responsibility in shaping our profession, deciding its evolution, and supporting and being the active creator of all the necessary progress to serve at the best of our possibilities, this country, and all the needs of the citizens at the most vulnerable points in their lives. You will have a moral duty to put the talents and skills you've proven through many challenges and adversity, to teach and to guide your junior colleagues, and to ensure they achieve and maintain the same high standards of clinical and academic excellence that you yourselves have demonstrated. In this room, we all know that these exams weren't easy, and many of you were tested to your very limit. But they are a goal worth achieving, so please guide your fellow doctors to the same success that you now so deservedly enjoy. I'm delighted to see that so many of you have friends and family members here today. The support of your loved ones has got you here in no small measure, and sharing and rejoicing with you and for all of your success is the highest form of love and of teamwork. Finally, now that the exams are over, you no doubt have more spare time on your hands. I would suggest that you use this period to take stock of your achievement and to think about what direction you'd like your career to take. With that bit of extra time you have, I'd also invite you to join us in the Trainees Committee, working with the MRCPI to bring about positive changes that will benefit you and benefit the doctors who follow in your footsteps. I'm sure over your engagement so far with the college, you've all seen what works well, but also the things that we could do better. Now that you have both the insight and the authority to make a change, I really urge you all to work with me on making this college a better place for trainees, so we can be proud to be members of this noble institution, proud of the fact that we can be part of receiving and providing world-class medical training, proud of the fact that we will always strive for better, and proud of the fact that we in this room are constantly working to safeguard the healthcare of the people of Ireland. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy. Let's lift this up a bit. Can I now ask all the licentiates and the members-elect to stand, please? Thank you. Now, I want you to read with me the declaration for membership, which is in your booklet. It will say insert name. Will you please insert your name in where it says insert name rather than mine or anyone else's? Thank you. Okay. I do hereby solemnly and sincerely promise that I will observe and obey the statutes, bylaws, and regulations of this college relating to members, and will submit to such penalties as may be lawfully imposed for any neglect or infringement of them, including the erasure of my name from the list of members and the surrender of my diploma of membership received from the college. I further promise and declare that I will, to the best of my ability, do all things in the practice of my profession for the honour of the college and the good of the public. I further promise and declare that I will not keep open shop for the sale of medicines, or endeavour to obtain practice or to attract public notice by any unworthy means, nor will I either permit or sanction the use of my name by any other person for such purpose, or in connection with any secret remedy, and in the case of any doubt relative to the true meaning of this engagement, I promise to submit to the judgment of the college. Okay, I will now call upon the President, Dr. Diarmuid O'Shea, to formally admit the new licentiates and member-elects collectively to the membership of the college.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as President, I hereby admit each of you individually and collectively as licentiates and members of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. Congratulations to each of you. Well done.
Congratulations to all our new members. You may now all be seated. I will now invite each member individually to come forward and receive their parchment as their name is called. Graduating in the specialty of paediatrics, we now call forward Amna Mohammed Abdelgadir Al Ghazulu Dafala. Anum Gul. Jeffrey Yu Youngzi. And in the specialty of obstetrics and gynecology, we now call forward Antonios Victor Fayez Falkuri. Steffi Jocelyn Fernandez. Shruti Shah. Thomas Harty. Anthony Shepherd. Manai Ahmed Mohammed Suleiman. And the specialty of general medicine, we will now call forward Saeed Ahmed. Mohammed Bilal Ahmed Atari. Ashif Aslam. Mohammed Ajari bin Ruslan. Nathan Brady. Agne Bouchekite. Tiong Min Shia. Faye Cooney. Timothy Cronin, Richard Daly, Aisling Doran, Alan Mark Doyle, Stefan Elkies, Ahmed Birer El Haj Al Jadna, Mohammed Ilyas Essa, Kate Emma Hanley, Cormac Hegarty, Stuart Hendricken Phelan, Amy Hennessy, Ahmed Ibrahim Dagesh, Abbas Iqbal, Sally Kemp, Leo Henry Mansell, Tara McInteggart, Mon I Mo, Farah Alia Binta Mahmoud Nazri, Rachel Moore, Shauna Moore Davis, Paul O'Brien, Oisin O'Donnell, Niall O'Donegan, Faye O'Donovan, Ruth O'Gara, Conor O'Malley, Babasola Sola Aladokun, Ryan Patrick Tehan, Abalasha Thapa, Johan Lundbach, Faizan Yazan, we will now move on to those graduating in absentia. Graduating in the specialty of general medicine, we have Abdul Al-Siddiq Al-Ashin Abdallah. Do you want to give him a clap?
You could save them to the end.
We saved them to the end. Okay. Poor fella. Hassan Abdullah Khalil Abdul Kader. It's okay, we'll do it at the end. Ashwag Hassan Al-Atta Abdel Mayed. Mohammed Faisal bin Ahmed Food. Suha Eldir Diri Salim Ahmed. Mashal Mohammed Al-Hajri, Raya Bazit, Mahad Ismail El Davul Biu, Amar Mohammed Brahma, Stephanie Marianne Byrne, Gillian Douglas, Luke Doyle, Sherian Abdallah Fatia El Sab, Abdul Rahman Abdul Rabu Uda El Dabari, Safa Suleiman A. El Faturi, May Mohammed Mahmoud El Gouki, Tuga Said Ahmed Mustafa El Hag, Rasha Mustafa Hamid El Mawafi, Nada Ali El Geek Al Nesri, Mahmoud Hatim El Nur El Sharif, Esha Marie Gupta, Islam El Tayyib Babikar Haj Omer, Ibrahim Nagmeldin Hassan Ibrahim, Wimid Abdullah Katan Hussein, Eftel Fabdul Idris Abdullah. I apologise if I got any of them wrong. I tried my best. We give a round of applause to all the new members. Now, there was one person who didn't attend. Do we want to put him into this, or will we wait till after? Will I wait till after? Okay. Right. Now, I want to call on one of our new members, Dr. Thomas Harty, to address you on behalf of the college.
Thank you, President, fellows and members of the College. It is an enormous pleasure to join you in celebrating this significant achievement, major milestone. I'd like to first just say a few thank yous. I think it's really important to acknowledge those who have supported us up to this point. Thanks firstly to the College and the fellows and members with whom we work. These are our registrars, SPRs and consultants who've taught us our trade from the moment we arrived in the hospital as medical students to preparing us for these exams, and of course who continue to support us into the future. To our patients, if you've ever been admitted to hospital, you may be familiar with the groups of trainees going bed to bed, seeking patients to help us practice for our clinical exams. These patients, patiently sat up in bed, allowed us to elicit their stories and subjected themselves to poking and prodding, without audibly at least wondering why their doctors were still doing exams. To our supporters, our friends and families, who must be at this stage wondering how many more exams we could possibly have left. The life of an NCHD is a hectic one, and it is our supporters who provide us with a constant as we move from job to job and hospital to hospital. They lend a sympathetic ear and support through it all. Lastly, of course, to each other, our colleagues and now fellow members. It is to each other that we turn, be that for a cup of tea at 4 a.m. in the res, a second pair of eyes for a tricky cannula, or someone to talk through a puzzling case with. We reached today's milestone together, and it was a team effort. From the endless hours spent on question banks, or leafing through guidelines, or when it came to the clinical exam, getting together in 2s or 3s to practice. It has sometimes been a long but very enjoyable road together. Today, it is important to reflect on our careers to date and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Navigating the health system and a career in medicine is not always the most straightforward path, and it is easy to become discouraged by the many challenges faced. However, it is important to remember and reflect upon the enormous privilege we have as physicians and as members of the college, and to hold those reflections as a beacon of optimism for the difficult days that lie ahead. That includes the privilege it is to look after patients and to hold the trust that they place in us as their doctor. It also includes the privilege to develop our specialties. We are today one step further along the road to completing our training, and in doing so, we'll help to shape the practice of our chosen field. As new members of the college, we'll become more senior members of our teams at work, and we'll have the privilege of teaching, training, and supporting those coming along after us, and to help drive and maintain the standards of excellence that have characterised the college for the last 360 years. I'm delighted to join with you all today in achieving your MRCPI and to working with you all together in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you, Thomas. I now call on the President, Dr. Diarmuid O'Shea, to address you.
Good afternoon. Tá fáilte romh an seo go dtí cloisterí leis na hÉireann, guests, members and fellows on behalf of the college officers and the platform party. Tá fáilte I ceallaigh romh. You really are very welcome. And while everybody's congratulating you, I think it is a really important mark of the day that you're here, that your family and friends are here with you, and that you get to celebrate a day like this. And over the course of my own career, I absolutely remember the day I got my membership, and it still stands very much clear in my mind. I remember it with personal pride. I remember thinking, like Tommy, that I was done with exams. And in fact, Tommy, in fairness to you, I think the hardest job today is actually the person who gives the speech that you gave, because you've never done it before. You'll never do it again, and you did it really well. So thank you for your words. They were really good. Like Tommy, I did think I was done with exams, but I was wrong about that. I felt I had to nail my colours to the mast, and some of you know exactly where you're going now, and most of you probably don't, and that's fine. But the choice now became mine. And I also remember how proud my parents were when they were with me, and how delighted they were to be at this conferring ceremony. And Dominic Corrigan is directly behind me, and this is the Corrigan Hall, and I'm wearing his gown currently. And it struck me listening to as your names are being called out. Myself and Mary Horgan, who is the immediate past president of this college, got our membership together on the same day. She loves me telling the year, so I won't tell the year. And neither of us at the time had any concept of where we were going to end up in our careers. So as I listened to your names being called out, I was wondering, who of you in the next number of decades will be sitting in the roles of the people that are on the platform party here, who will be taking up the officer roles, who will be taking on the college roles. And Trevor alluded to this. You get a lot out of the college. You may not realise until a certain point in time it is all about exams, but your engagement with the college changes from this point on. So in many ways, today does mark one of those big career milestones. It is hard-earned, and you should be justly proud of yourself. And both Trevor and Lucy sort of refer to this, in a very real and positive way. Sustaining your passion and your enthusiasm and your interest in medicine throughout your career, in addition to your own personal well-being, it will be challenged. There will be ups and downs. But it will be your connection with each other, it'll be your connection with your colleagues and with this college, and how you avail of what Trevor talked was both the structured training, but also the lifelong learning and the continuous professional development that will empower and sustain you over a career that will be, we all hope, 40 years and more. And this is our professional home. And the man sitting in the middle on the picture to the left of Dominic Corrigan is John Stern. And he founded the college at the age of 30 in 1654. And he founded the college to improve the training of doctors, to improve patient care, and as a place for people to meet. And those things are still very relevant today. And nearly 400 years later, we're now the largest and oldest postgraduate training body in this country, with 6 postgraduate training bodies under our roof: pediatrics, obstetrics, medicine, pathology, occupational medicine, and public health. And I didn't leave one of them out that time. I'm really pleased with myself. So we've grown into a globally connected community of over 15,000 doctors in 95 countries, and you heard today that there's 145 of you now joining from 23 countries. And I think we do underestimate the contribution and impact we make both here in Ireland and abroad. Practicing medicine in a changing world and modern medicine in a modern world is not without its challenges. And it is really important that we protect and champion both core lice, which is the science of medicine, and coram lice, which is the care in medicine. Weaving into the fabric of your practice core values, and I'm sure you'll have others of them you'll include, of compassion, openness, kindness, empathy, and understanding for your patients and each other, will empower you to make an important difference to the health and well-being of your patients, to the healthcare system you work in, and as importantly, to yourselves. And they're values that can't be replaced by a computer or technology. Trevor said this: you are the future clinicians and leaders who will shape healthcare service delivery over the years and decades to come. So, like Lucy, who has got involved in the college through the trainee committee, become an active contributor, become involved in the college. Earlier in October, we had Mary Robinson, who's a former president of this country, in the college to get the Stern Medal. Now she, among many other things, is the epitome of a role model and leader. She's inspiring, she's erudite, she's trailblazing, she's intellectually gifted, and she's brave. And that embodies the qualities we need to see in leaders that you are becoming. In the interview she did with us, she reminded us that both long-term decision-making and long-term leadership is really important. And she re-emphasized that medicine is quintessentially about leadership and action. And she challenged each of us who were there that day to foster and be part of a growing leadership movement in our global medical world. The question is, how do you do that? Starting out from the base that you're starting at and with the qualities that you now have. So you make a decision that you will be considerate, collaborative, and collegial with the people you work the people you work with. Be the culture change that you want to see in healthcare. Understand and accept that setbacks and disappointments happen in a career, be it in exams, be it in interviews, sometimes with patient outcomes. But understand too that reviewing and reflecting and processing and learning from that experience makes you a better doctor. Stay curious. Stay curious about yourself, your patients, and those around you. And it should go without saying that you have a real duty to look after yourself and those around you. So focusing on your own personal health and well-being and not being afraid to put yourself occasionally first isn't a bad thing. I had a lady who said to me once in a letter she sent in to me in the day hospital, I'm a geriatrician, and I work not far away from here. She said, look after your own career. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. And how you do that over the course of your career will vary, but it's a very powerful phrase to keep in your head. And then I think finally, never underestimate the power that you can have as an individual to influence others. So after all of that, my invitation to you is look after yourself in your own career. Equip yourself with the skills that will empower you to lead progress in health and patient care, as well as training the next generation of doctors who will take on the baton. And you do that, as Lucy outlined, by becoming more involved in the college. For the college to remain at the forefront of professional and public advocacy, we need you to help us. We need you to step into these roles. Trevor said we build on the shoulders of giants, and I get reminded every time I walk into this building by Harriet, our keeper of collections, about the vast array of history we have around us. And it depends on who my eyes light on. There's a guy in a picture in the Graves Hall outside called Samuel Gordon, and he was the first gentleman in 1877, and Harriet will correct me if I'm wrong on dates after this, who brought in what was called the Enabling Act that allowed women practice medicine for the first time in Europe. This was the college that facilitated that. Interestingly, he had 9 daughters. I don't know if that had any influence on what he was doing. But there are other people, Dorothy Stopper-Price, Kathleen Lynn, Dominic Corrigan, who I talked about. But Kathleen Lynn is an interesting lady because she was a suffragette. She was a politician and she was a nationalist. And after the Civil War, she channeled her energies and lived by the credo of being brave, being different, challenging conventional wisdom, but above all, collaborating. And what she really demonstrated over her career is that one person can make a big difference. One person can positively influence a team and a culture within a group. And if you are that person and you choose to be that person, the benefits of that will have a ripple out effect. So after all of that, and before I finish, I have a few important thank yous to say, and I know when I start naming names, I leave people out, so the people I really want to thank are the people I've left out. But firstly, I want to acknowledge everybody here on the platform, partly because they've taken time out of busy clinical jobs to be here today to celebrate with you. And while it may not look it, once upon a time, they were sitting there getting their membership. And they've now put themselves forward into the leadership roles that allows you be here looking for their roles in years to come. So a huge thank you on my behalf of the Office of the College and Platform Project. exams and training don't happen without examiners and boards. So those that lead them and chair them, Una Corona in paediatrics, Mary Higgins in obstetrics, Vera Keatings in the Institute of Medicine, and people in the college like Dara Whelan, Dermot Branagh, and Marissa Prendergast and Louise Goyat all play huge roles. And Trevor said this, you know, our CEO Audrey Houlihan is sitting in the audience today. We have a staff of over 150, 70 and more that support us throughout our training and over the career spectrum and the transitions of our careers. And they are dedicated and professional and always committed to what the college does. So I would like to thank our CEO Audrey Houlihan and Gabriella, Emma and Harriet, who are in the room on behalf of all of us, to thank the staff for the work that they do. So thank you as well. So in addition to the people sitting in the hall here, we've got some people very obediently sitting in the chain room, staying nicely quiet. So you're all very welcome. And I guess it's really important that they're here with you today, because we know that our members would not be here today if it was not for the support that you give them. And clearly there are others who could not be here today. So on our behalf, and on behalf of the members here now getting their membership and the team in the college, a huge thank you to everybody else in the room for the support that they continue to give our members in the past number of years and in the years to come. So a sincere thanks. I'll finish by saying that at the core, the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland provides the highest standard and quality of training, lifelong education, learning and advocacy across the 40 years or so of all of our careers. And what that translates into is best patient care and better patient outcomes. And the future of the college depends, as Lucy said, on you, the new members. As the years fly by, and they do fly by, the college can always be a reference point for your continued professional excellence as you deliver care to the patients you look after and lead healthcare delivery. Over the course of your careers, as you bring honour to yourself, to your family, and to our profession, I sincerely hope that you all fulfil your own dreams, ambitions, and potential. My congratulations to each of you on getting the membership. Enjoy the rest of your well-earned day off.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now that completes the conferring ceremony for membership. We would ask the guests to please remain in the hall, and the newly elected members, will you move out into the hallway and down onto the main stairwell for a group photograph. A reception will follow the group photograph in the Graves Hall. Thank you very much and congratulations.